Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I am Wilma Obubi Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Ajua Tinkrama Domina.
Coming up in the bulletin, Ranking Member on Education Committee of Parliament Peter Nochukotoi alleges that senior high school students are being fed with maggot-infested rice and calls for an investigation into the distribution of about 300,000 bags infested.
A few weeks ago, this rice was taken out of the warehouse and distributed to secondary schools in the country. That is why I brought it up at the highest level.
Also coming up, Minority in Parliament raises concern over the delay in the presentation of committee reports to the House for consideration.
And I want to encourage those who chair those committees to make sure that they report back to the House, because we are running the committee system. The mere fact that you are a committee does not mean you end it all. The fact does not stop with you.
Still ahead, 2 preterm babies die every week at Village of Hope Hospital at Gomafete in the Central Region due to insufficient incubators. We'll tell you the concerns of the administrators of the facility.
Sometimes when you wake up, you have to go, you get there, just at the gate, you hear this person has lost the baby. So it's like anytime you have to go to the NICU, you're already afraid.
And later, Citi Sports team steps out of the studio for the 3rd Premier League roadshow of the season as Premier League returns this weekend after a 2-week break. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live across the country on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, we are live on Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, this is Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM, both in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajewu. Northern region, this is Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. And in the Upper East region, we are on Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga. And in the Upper West region, this is Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Drapa 96.1 FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Ranking member on the Education Committee of Parliament, Peter Nochukotoi, is calling for an investigation into the distribution of approximately 300,000 bags of rice suspected to be infested with maggots to senior high schools. The legislator alleges that the rice imported since 2021 remained uncleared at the ports due to high import duties, causing them to reach their expiry date. He urged the Food and Drugs Authority, the Ministry of Education, and other relevant stakeholders to investigate the matter, expressing concerns about potential negative health implications for students.
This laments rice, which was imported to the country in 2021 and had been kept at the warehouse for all this time. And my investigation showed the inability of the importers of the rice from India to pay the duties that are to be paid, made the rice to be put over there. Then, a few weeks ago, this rice was taken out of the warehouse and distributed to secondary schools in the country. That is why I brought it up at the highest level, which is the Parliament. So it's now left for those who are responsible, maybe Food and Drug Authority or the Ministry of Education and whoever, to go and do their own investigations and find out how did the rice get to the schools. I have made the allegation, so it is for them to investigate and then report back that what I said was true or not true.
You heard the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, Peter Nochukotoi. Now, the minority in Parliament has expressed concern over the delay in the presentation of committee reports to the plenary for consideration. The caucus noted that committees assigned to investigate matters related to the National Cathedral, the lead tape involving the Inspector General of Police, and the military brutalities at Ashaiman, among other issues of national interest, have not have not yet submitted their reports to the House. Ahmed Ibrahim, the first Deputy Minority Whip, raised these concerns while reacting to the business statement for the upcoming week.
There is a growing culture in this House whereby we are quick to constitute committees to investigate, but slow to report back to the House. The business statement says that the policy on the budget statement will be concluded on Wednesday, and once that one is done, the estimates will start coming, and committees will be very busy considering the estimates. Mr. Speaker, there are many backlog of investigative reports that committees that have been constituted in this House have to report back to the House. Mr. Speaker, when the House constitutes a committee and asks you to chair it, you are mandated or on obligation to report back to the House with your findings and recommendations for the committee to either clear and adopt the report and institute your recommendations to make sure that whether certain things could be abated or not. But we've constituted a committee to investigate Ashama, no report; to investigate the IGP leak tape, no report; to investigate the National Cathedral, no report, and so many. Even select committees like a committee on communication, 2017-2015 reports, no report. Mr. Speaker, if we are treading on that path, I don't think it's good for the image of this House. And I want to encourage those who chair those committees to make sure that they report back to the House, because we are running the committee system. The mere fact that you are a committee does not mean you end it all. The fact does not stop with you. Report back to the House. Those that are under investigation, if you are clear, let's clear them. But we can't leave those matters to be hanging. The Speaker, this is what I want to bring to the attention of the House.
You heard the first Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim. Now the second Deputy Speaker, Andrew Amakwesiama, urged the leadership of the House to take action on the matter.
We haven't received any report for the committees, and I think we need to take a second look at it. Once a referral is made to the committee, please, it's incumbent on you to report back to the House. Let's see how you went through the recommendations and those, so that the House will take a decision on that. So many referrals has been made, and nobody is reporting back. I think it's something that leadership will have to look at it again.
You had the second Deputy Speaker, Andrew Amakwesiama.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has revealed that the relief assistance provided to victims, especially students affected by the Akosombo Dam flooding disaster, was insufficient during the launch of a report on a rapid assessment of the aftermath in the affected areas. UTAG highlighted the inadequacy of emergency responses, including those from the government. UTAG emphasized the urgent need for enhanced support in education and other critical aspects of social life. As a response, UTAG pledged assistance with a seed fund of 200,000 Ghana cedis to students in selected communities within the affected areas through the UTAG Educational Support Fund. The UTAG National President, Professor Mahmudu Akudugu, has been speaking to the media.
The rapid assessment also highlights a severe emergency which relates to health, education, water quality, the environment, sanitation, and mental health. It also emphasizes the need or the necessity for improved early warning systems, and also reveals shortcomings in the fundamental policies and the pending disaster risk reduction. Because we need to develop those early warning systems that can be able to inform people early enough so that they can move away from that. But that also means that apart from developing the early warning systems, we also need to educate the population to be able to understand and take some of these early warning systems seriously, so that whenever we announce them, they can be able to pay heed to them. The findings also underscore the urgent need for an extensive longitudinal study covering all affected communities to provide a comprehensive understanding of the situation. As we have indicated, this was a rapid assessment. So UTAG is calling on all relevant key stakeholders, research funding agencies, those that have the funds to be able to come to support us. You don't need to look for expertise again. In fact, you don't need to even make a grand call and look for people. We already have the expertise. You just have to call us and tell us that, oh, this is the funding that we have for you to be able to undertake this extensive study so that we can be able to come up with key findings, findings that are within the context of Ghana, findings that are informed by what? Local decisions.
UTAG National President Professor Mahmudu Akudugu.
Now, about 2,000 candidates who took the Basic Education Certificate Examination (BEC) this year are under investigation by the West African Examinations Council (WAEC) due to suspected malpractice. These candidates have been summoned by WAEC to respond to questions about irregularities detected during the examinations. Parents and teachers are accompanying the affected candidates to WAEC offices in the Ashanti region after some subject results were withheld. A guardian and a head teacher from an affected school shared their concern with Citi News.
She went there to stay with her uncle, and that's the place he wrote the exams. So after the results came, they hold their science paper, and they send a message to the headmaster, and he called my grand doctor. He was with me on holidays here. So the headmaster told us to meet them here. So we came here around about 6:30. But very unfortunately, they are from far place. So they arrived here and they have taken them to the room. So I haven't have anything. So I'm waiting for them to come.
Last week, my daughter is part of those who wrote BC. I had a message that we should come to WAEC. They asked us, they found out that there is irregularity among the papers, one of the papers that they wrote. So we should come and then explain what. So we came this morning. We were a second school on the queue. So they attended to us, and then they give the scripts to children, the pupils, and they look at it. They look at the same answers provided and the same wrong answers provided, and they wrote their reports. That was what happened in the exam. They didn't ask us anything.
You had guardians of some candidates who sat for this year's Basic Education Certificate examination. We'll go over the phone lines to speak to our Ashanti regional correspondent, Hafiz Tijani, who is following this development to tell us more. Hafiz, many thanks for joining us. Now, we understand these candidates have been summoned by WAEC to respond to questions. Give us some more.
So these candidates of the affected schools are coming from far places like the Edra-Sechi-Dumasi areas and also the Drobonso areas. So what the council is seeking to do is that it wants to know why the candidates had same answers on their answer sheet when the papers were being marked by the examiners of the council after they detected that some of the candidates had or candidates from the same schools have the same answers. If the answers are correct, it means that it is correct for most of the candidates, like 10 in a row. And if the answers are wrong, you find a replica of the wrong answers in the papers or answer sheets of most of the candidates. So the examiners detected the irregularity, and they wrote their report and submitted to the council. So most of the subjects that have been the subject results that have been withheld by the council is the integrated science paper. So most of these candidates who are also coming and who are affected by this are also confirming to us that their integrated science results have been withheld after they went online to check for their results when the results was released by WAEC. But since Monday, these affected candidates have been flooding the offices, the Kumasi office or the regional office of the WAEC to face the investigators who are going through with this process. So the understanding is that we have someone from WAEC, an official from WAEC, an official from the Ghana Education Service who are taking part in this investigation. So it's not a single decision WAEC says it is taking. It says that it's a committee that is investigating this, and the committee will submit its report. So when the candidates go inside, they show them the scripts and they compare the scripts with other candidates. They think that they have similar answers with. So they allow them to go through the script themselves and they write their report afterwards. So after the candidates are done, WAEC says that it would compile the report as part of the investigation, and a final decision will be taken whether or not to cancel this results or to release the results.
Now, Hafiz, we want to understand that all the candidates are coming to the Shanti region, or this is just for people in the Shanti region?
No, this is a nationwide exercise. According to officials of WAEC. So it's done nationwide. So in the Ashanti region, these are the numbers that have been affected, about 2,000 of them. So invitations have been extended to the candidates, the affected candidates, because when they were filling their forms for the registration of the BEC, they had to put the numbers, the phone numbers of their guardians or parents. So these guardians and parents are being contacted, as well as the schools. So it's either the schools that are bringing the students or the affected candidates, or individually parents and guardians are bringing these candidates to the WAEC office.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was our Shanti regional correspondent, Hafiz Tijani, and he's been bringing us up to speed on a story where about 2,000 candidates who took the BEC this year under investigation by the West African Examination Council due to suspected malpractice. Ajal, give us some other stories.
The Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana has served notice of an indefinite nationwide strike beginning Wednesday, November 29, 2023. The association cited unsuccessful efforts to address their concerns, particularly regarding harsh working conditions and unmet agreements with the government. The General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, Richard Kofi Jordan, expressed their frustration and urged the government to fulfill their commitments.
Thanks from memorandum understanding concerning that of, remember the coronavirus package that the president promised some years back. I think 2019, the president promised 50% coronavirus motivational package for frontline health workers. At that time, many of the mortuary workers were exempted for some reasons, which we thought was not fair. So we petitioned the president of the nation, and the president acted on it. We sat down at the negotiation table, and it was agreed that mortuary workers should be included for them to enjoy the package as well, because mortuary is just like dumping almost everything, including the coronavirus victims. We couldn't have taken them out. So that one is still hanging. Then we have about 3 other allowances, which were supposed to add up to our salaries to motivate our workers. It is not anything too huge that government is not able to pay. It is just that some people are not ready to do the needful. So that is it. If it is not solved by Tuesday, I can promise you this time the strike will not be like the one we declared earlier and then they come in and we say. What we are trying to see now is payment fully. The Ministry of Finance should order payment to all our members. Will call off any action that we intended.
That was General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, Richard Kofi Jordan.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still to come in the bulletin. 2 preterm babies die every week at the Village of Hope Hospital at Gomwafete in the Central Region due to insufficient incubators. We'll tell you the concerns of the administrators of this facility. Stay tuned, we'll bring you details shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Asantehene Otunfo Osei-Tutu II has voiced deep concern over the growing departure of healthcare and educational professionals from Ghana. He characterized this trend as a modern form of colonization and called on the government to implement sustainable measures to curb it. During the 57th congregation of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he serves as the Chancellor, Otunfo Osei-Tutu II stressed the importance of creating job opportunities through entrepreneurship to address the challenges facing Ghana.
While it is important to acknowledge that human migration is not inherently negative, it is equally crucial to recognize that if this phenomenon remains unchecked, it poses a huge threat to the future of our nation. The departure of our potential leaders and talents, who should be actively contributing to the growth and development of our country, raises a formidable challenge. We must collectively work to transform our country into an enticing and compelling destination for our youth, a place where they have unshaken faith in their capacity to thrive and succeed. To achieve this, I call upon the government and all stakeholders in education to embark upon innovative strategies aimed at retaining and harnessing the potential of our young graduates, creating an enabling environment that fosters entrepreneurship, facilitates job creation, and stimulates investment in research and development is crucial. By doing so, we can effectively staunch the flow of our nation's intellectual capital to foreign shores, and in the process, construct a prosperous and flourishing future for our beloved country. Let us unite our efforts, therefore, to strong this challenge head for the betterment of our society and the preservation of our nation's bright and promising future.
Regarding legal mining, the Asantehene urged the government to take decisive action against individuals engaged in illegal mining. The Asantehene believes that such strong measures still contribute to addressing the issue of illegal mining in the country.
I call on all stakeholders to be very vigilant and help the government to flush out these illegal miners. Sure, not so long. We all heard of actions I took against some chiefs in my kingdom who have either covertly or overtly involved in galamsey activities. I urge the government to take reciprocal actions in the fight against galamsey. Sure. Chiefs as custodians of the lands bear a solemn responsibility to act with integrity, diligence, and safeguard our natural resources. The government too must step up its efforts to protect our land and combat this destructive force that is eroding our nation from within.
On the back of the Akosombo Dam spillage and its associated challenges, Otunfo Osei-Tutu II called for significant actions to address climate change, particularly concerning water resources.
The recent spillage at the Akosombo Dam serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance we must maintain between development and environmental preservation. The spillage at the Akosombo Dam has not only affected the lives and livelihood along the water river, also pose a significant threat to our public health as a nation. Let's highlight the urgency with which we must address climate change and its impact on our water resources. Sure. And I want to entreat my venerable professors in this university to lead the charge. As we grapple with the consequences of this event, it becomes imperative for us to unite and face the challenges that lie ahead. It is a call to action for us to invest in sustainable practices, promote water conservation, and explore alternative energy resources. Sure. Again, there are those who dam filling and underscore the importance of effective disaster preparedness and response mechanisms. The government, in collaboration with local authorities and international partners, must work tirelessly to ensure that our communities are resilient in the face of some of these natural calamities going forward. This includes early warning systems, robust evacuation plans, and support strategies for those affected. In the spirit of unity and resilience, let us come together to support the communities affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. Let us provide aid, not just in the form of immediate relief, but also in the form of sustainable development initiatives that empower these communities to rebuild and thrive in the face of adversity.
You heard Asantehene Otunfo Osei-Tutu II.
Now, the overlord of Dagbon, Yana Abubakar Muhammad II, has expressed solidarity with the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. The spillage has caused significant displacement and loss of homes and properties, particularly in the Volta region. A delegation from the Volta region, led by North Tong Member of Parliament Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, and accompanied by youth from Gunjaland, received humanitarian assistance from Yana Abubakar Muhammad II. The assistance included 300 bags of maize and 100 bags of rice for the Volta victims, along with 100 bags of maize for those affected in the Savannah region.
The overlord of Dagbon, Yana Abubakar Muhammad II, has expressed solidarity with the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage during a ceremony on Wednesday. The devastating impact of the spillage has displaced thousands in the Volta region, resulting in the loss of homes and properties. A delegation from the Volta region, accompanied by Northern Member of Parliament Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa and youth from Gunjaland, received 300 bags of maize and 100 bags of rice for the Volta victims, along with 100 bags of maize for those affected in the Savannah region. During the support ceremony, the Yana emphasized the national significance of the disaster, urging collective assistance for the victims. Sagbalun Na Dr. Yakubu II conveyed the overlord's message.
On behalf of the Dagbang Traditional Council, the chiefs and people of Dagbang Kingdom, I extend our sympathy to the people of Volta region and Bupe in the Savannah region for the colossal loss of properties and livelihoods due to the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. You couldn't have had a more difficult time than now, and we stand by you in your moment of difficulty and helplessness. We have all watched with horror and disbelief as the spillage completely engulfed whole communities and rendered thousands of people homeless. Homeless without places to lay their head, no food, no clean water, and no protection from the elements. It is a very pathetic and worrying situation to find oneself in. Schools and clinics have been submerged, leading to the suspension of education, lack of basic but essential medical services. The sheer number of people displaced is staggering.
The Yana acknowledged the significant losses, recognizing the prolonged recovery ahead. He appealed to the government and other benevolent organizations to sustain their support for the victims.
The solution of the problems caused by spillage is beyond the capabilities of the good people affected, and call on the government and other benevolent organizations to continue to do more to quicken the recovery process. We also call on the relevant ministries to tackle this situation holistically, as this extends along the Volta River up to the north, especially the Savannah region. The flooding of Bupe in the Savannah region seems to be an annual event that seems to be solved once and for all. The continued yearly loss of properties by the residents is unacceptable, and we need to act now and avert a repetition of it come next year. I know the government is doing its best, and so are several organizations and individuals to contain the situation. I pray that we don't get tired of helping until everyone is out of danger and life returns back to normal or near normal.
Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, speaking for the Volta region delegation, expressed gratitude to Yana for the support, underscoring its value to the people in the Volta region. He assured that the distributed items would reach affected victims following established fair distribution process.
We recall that a special guest at the Ogbechocho Festival in Anglo, he empathized with the victims and he offered suggestions towards a lasting solution. We honestly thought that that was more than enough to acknowledge the plight of our people, to empathize, and to offer solutions towards preventing a recurrence. We did not know that he will go beyond that and extend such impressive support to us. We are eternally grateful, and we will forever be indebted to the Yana and to his kingdom. We are absolutely appreciative of this kind humanitarian gesture. We also want to use this opportunity to assure His Royal Majesty that the items that he has put together, these relief items, will go directly to the beneficiaries.
Togbi Azagba, chief of MEPE, conveyed joy at Yana's support. He highlighted the adverse impacts of floods on people's livelihoods and appealed for additional support from benevolent organizations.
We are doing everything possible, bringing in psychologists to come and, talk to our people so that they will not have any mental, problems and all that. We have embarked on that, and we are also advocating. You'll be surprised that now donors are bringing in foods. We estimate that we can be under this disaster for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The farms, the cassava farms are gone, the corn, the fish ponds. I can mention a lot. When do we go back again and do all these things and then begin to feed ourselves? So that is also a headache. The settlement is another factor. Compensation is another. But the people must be alive before they are compensated. The people must be settled so that they don't die from diseases. Some waterborne disease has been identified already. People are having skin problems. So we are also consulting the doctors to come and visit them periodically so that we can also see to their medical needs. I will use this opportunity to appeal to other corporate bodies that the going will be very tough for us. We will not write application to them. We will not call them on telephone and beg them that we are in trouble. But we can only advocate that we need to help.
That was a report filed by Northeast Regional Correspondent Muhammad M. Alabira and read by Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Now, the minority in Parliament criticized the government for neglecting the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, commonly known as Reg Hospital. The first phase of the hospital's renovation was commissioned in 2016 under the Mahama administration with a promise to complete the second phase. However, work on the second phase has stalled. During a debate on the 2024 budget, Minority Chief Whip Governance Kwame Abuja questioned the basis for the neglect of the facility by the NPP government.
Mr. Speaker, let me move on. With health, Mr. Speaker, health is very important. Today, we can boast of Accra Regional Hospital called Reg Hospital. Mr. Speaker, you may be aware that is just one of the phases. The second phase of that project has been suspended by the President Akufo-Addo government to date. Interestingly, today, as we speak, Mr. Speaker, right opposite, while they abandon the Reg Hospital, the next phase, they are building a $250 million Bank of Ghana headquarters opposite. Choose between healthcare and the headquarters of Bank of Ghana. Which one will you choose? Mr. Speaker, today, we can boast of many health facilities under President Mahama. Very importantly, I don't remember the last time a government has started and completed to today. There are people who go to university in Ho, University of Health and Allied Sciences, and become medical doctors. You can go to Cape Coast and do medicine in Cape Coast. These are tangible and sustainable ways of developing healthcare in our country. Which university have you started and completed in your 7 years? Mr. Speaker, the record is abysmal. So let it be known. You don't need 7 years to build one district hospital. Okay, as for Agenda 111, it's true. There are many construction sites dotted around the country.
You heard the Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Abuja.
Away from that, the Economic and Organized Crime Office (EOCO) has issued a warning concerning an increase in check fraud targeting traders and businesses. According to a press release dated November 23, 2023, perpetrators are exploiting technology and delays in the interbank clearing system. EOCO urged the public, especially business owners, to exercise due diligence in transactions, stressing the importance of confirming that the actual or available balance has increased by the expected amount before completing transactions.
Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has urged the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, to leverage the linkage of the Ghana Card and Tax Identification Number for efficient tax collection. Dr. Bawumia criticized what he termed a lazy approach of chasing those already paying taxes and suggested focusing on identifying and bringing into the tax nets the majority who are not fulfilling their tax obligations. He also recommended introducing bonus systems for tax officers based on the number of new taxpayers they bring into the system.
By making the Ghana card number the tax identification number, GRA can also tell who has filed and who has not filed their taxes. And so it is rich data that is available to GRA. And that rich data, I'm asking GRA to use that data. It is a very lazy approach to go and keep looking for taxes for people who are paying taxes already. When you could look at those who are not paying taxes, which is the vast majority, and they should be the ones that GRA should be focusing on. If they pay a little, the vast majority, we will get a lot more revenue without the need for any increases in taxes. So I'm admonishing GRA. I'm saying that the data is available now that we have put this together. You can tell who has not filed. Give your bonuses on the basis of how many new taxpayers your people can bring into the net. I think it will help Ghana better. Your Majesty, we've also done a lot of work on dealing with the ghost worker problem in Ghana. And thanks to work with the with the Controller and Accountant General's Office, I believe that we'll be able to announce in the next couple of months the elimination of all ghost workers on public sector payroll in Ghana.
Now, the Vice President announced that every child born in Ghana will be issued a Ghana card number from December 2023. He further mentioned the introduction of a credit scoring system in the coming year, which will reward individuals who consistently pay their loans by offering them lower interest rates and increased access to loans.
Ghana Health Service, the Births and Deaths Registry, and the National Identification Authority. We have completed that work. And Your Majesty, I'm happy to say that next month, I am going to launch a new system, a project that will start working next month, where every child born in Ghana from birth will be given a Ghana card number, so that we cover that base, so we can track the children as well. The Ghana card today also works as an e-passport in terms of travel from abroad to Ghana. And it's acceptable in 44,000 airports in the world, because we've registered it with iPower and have gone through all the processes.
You had Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Let's take you to the Central Region now, where administrators of the village of Hope Hospital in Gomwafete in that region have expressed concerns about the impact of insufficient incubators on healthcare delivery at the facility. According to medical officers, 2 preterm babies die every week due to the lack of incubators. The hospital, which receives referrals from the Eastern and Central regions, is asking for assistance. Our Central Regional correspondent Calvis Tete brings more details in this report.
In Ghana, the absence of proper resources results in the loss of 4 preterm babies every hour. The village of Hope Hospital mirrors this crisis, with 2 preterm babies facing the same fate weekly due to inadequate incubators. The facility contends with an overwhelming number of preterm births, accentuating the urgent need for more incubators. Various factors, including lifestyle choices such as excessive drinking and smoking, contribute to the prevalence of preterm birth. Citi News interviewed nursing mothers who shared their challenges and emphasized the necessity for increased government support.
Right at the ward, you have mothers giving birth, and then they come to the ward with their babies and they sleep with them. But with you, it's like right from birth, the child is taken away from you in the incubator. You sleep, you are wondering what is going on there. What is going on there? You get up in the morning, you rush to go to the place, you hear babies crying, and it's like, hey, has it been like this throughout the night without me cuddling her and telling her she's going to be okay, or feeding her? So you get there, and then you have your child for just some few minutes, then you have to leave for the child to be putting back into the incubator, and then you have to go and sleep again. I mean, staying the whole day without the child by your side, it's not easy. And sometimes when you wake up, you have to go, you get there, just at the gate, you hear this person has lost the baby. So it's like anytime you have to go to the NICU, you're already afraid. So there is more to be done. There is more. We are really pleading that they come to our aid and do more to help us so that things will come down for parents. It's very horrifying during this moment.
Okay. The time I get like 7 months, 2 weeks, then I went to hospital. I feel pains. Then I went to hospital. Then on the following week, Monday, then I give birth to my dearest daughter at home. At home? Yes. So the time that I noticed that the leg come out, this girl come with his leg, not the head. From the beginning that I'm not sure that my thing will survive, my baby will survive.
Medical officers at the Village of Hope Hospital advocate for the establishment of additional neonatal unit with well-equipped staff to address the needs of preterm infants. Despite receiving numerous referrals from other hospitals, the Village of Hope Hospital seeks government and other agency support to acquire more incubators.
Lack of incubators is a major issue. The thing is the temperature control of the baby, right? So in the initial hours or days, if you're able to get their temperatures controlled, it goes a long way in their survival. So we do the kangaroo mother care. The kangaroo mother care is essentially because the baby cannot be in an incubator for the rest of their time. So at the end of the day, the mother has to support. When we do the skin-to-skin contact, it goes a long way to help the babies. As I said, it's a skin-to-skin contact between the baby and the mother. Normally, the baby is positioned at the chest, in between the breast, so that the baby can also acquire or gain the same temperature as compared to that of the man. That doesn't tip them into hypothermia, which tends to kill them faster as compared to a tame baby.
4 preterm babies die every hour according to stakeholders. There's a notion that preterm babies are also marine children and the need to do away with them. But stakeholders who have gathered here at the Village of Hope Hospital believe that notion must be corrected. Calvis Tete, City News, Komwafete.
And in the studios of Citi FM, I am Wilma Obubisa Coleman here with
Ajuatin Krama Domina.
Still to come in the bulletin, Citi Sports team brings you this weekend the 3rd Premier League roadshow of the season as the Premier League returns after a 2-week break. We'll tell you what to expect in a bit. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
So much goes on in the news cycle that can leave you rather overwhelmed. At the tail end of a busy working day, as you're heading home, it's time to update you on the biggest stories thus far, giving you a perspective from the real newsmakers. Eyewitness News gives you nothing but clarity and authenticity. Catch Eyewitness News at 5:30 p.m. daily from Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Are you ready to party? We're lighting up the city on the 24th of December 2023 with the biggest all-white outdoor party, Situation 2023.
It's time to unwind as the year draws to a close with a mix of delicious cocktails, good food, and the best DJs to give you back-to-back hits to keep you on your feet amidst some incredible performances by the Chin Chin Band and not your regular DJ Mingo. The dynamic duo Keche, the crooner Aquabua, the rap doctor Ochiame Kwame, and the spirit-filled Perez Music. Get ready to let it all down and party your stresses away on Christmas Eve at the Situation All White Outdoor Party. Date 24th December 2023. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. Call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 for your table bookings and seats. Make reservations now and come have an unrivaled experience with the most extraordinary party to end all parties this Christmas Eve. The Situation All White Outdoor Party 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. We'll take you to the Eastern region where the police command is currently meeting with the Nigerian nationals engaged in retail marketing in Koforidua following days of misunderstandings with members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. This meeting has become necessary after some Nigerian traders locked shops of their own leaders, vandalized some properties and issued threats accusing their leadership of not doing their best to address the ongoing dispute between them and GUTA. The Eastern Regional Public Relations Officer of GUTA, Darling Nana Boateng, condemned the attacks and called on the Ghana Police Service to intervene.
In the aftermath of the closure of shops of foreigners, the news today is that some young Nigerian traders have gathered together as formed groups to vandalize properties and shops of the leadership of the Nigerian community. That is uncalled for. We would plead with the police to intervene, such that we had an agreement with the leadership that there shouldn't be hawking on the streets of Ghana as a whole, starting from Koforidua, where the action was taken. And actually, the Nigerians could not bargain any further beyond accepting the fact that they are not supposed to do retail trading in Ghana. And so those who have shops said they were going to continue their distributorship and wholesale, so that why would the other ones who are disadvantaged, which are the younger ones who don't have shops, come together as a group to form a vigilante to destroy or vandalize properties of their leadership? I think that is uncalled for.
You heard the Eastern Regional Public Relations Officer of GUTA, Darling Nana Boateng.
Two more stories this afternoon. The Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, is engaging security agencies to address the operations in Boko as a matter of national security. Operations of NEDCO in the area have been hindered due to the protracted conflict, resulting in challenges for revenue collection and the deployment of staff. Maxwell Kotoka, the communications manager for NEDCO, stated that discussions with the security agencies aim to find solutions to these challenges.
Management has engaged the city on the possibility of treating our operations in Boko as a special line item under national security. Because not as we are not able to collect the money, not as we are losing due to debt, we are also required to ensure that the power is sustained. The absence of power provides a very fertile environment for insecurity. And so we are required to ensure that the power is available in a very sustained so as to dispel insecurity. And if the presence of power is that, then it is really fair and prudent that we consider it as a national security so that it will be treated as such. So far, the discussions have been generally fruitful. The expectation that we will get the final note so that support.
Maxwell Kotoka is the communications manager for the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO.
Now, the Water Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, is advocating for increased collaboration among relevant state institutions to strengthen water governance and enforce regulations. A former executive secretary of the Water Resource Commission, Ben Ampoma, stressed the essential need for collective collaboration among state institutions. According to him, it is important to work together to ensure the proper enforcement and adherence to laws and practices governing safe water.
Working in silos is not much of a problem in my view, because definitely it will happen. But we need to build bridges. Do your own thing. But when an issue comes which affects all the institutions, we need to build bridges and see what each one can bring on the table. Let me give you an example. Regulating aquaculture on the Volta Lake. Each institution was doing its own thing, and there were problems, conflicts, pollution becoming so much, and things like that. Now the institutions decided that, look, let's tackle this particular problem. What they did was that before one institution can give a permit, it is contingent on the other. Before you can make any informed decision, it should be evidence-based, data and information, and quality ones, of course. But unfortunately, there's a gap.
Ben Ampoma is former executive secretary of the Water Resource Commission.
The Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations has expressed disappointment over the inadequate budgetary allocation towards the implementation of the inclusive education policy, as access to education remains a major challenge for persons with disabilities. According to the Federation, its members still face exclusion in areas of health and employment. The program's director for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, Adam Abdul Wahab, called for affirmative measures to be put in place to address these concerns.
The issue about disability, even according to the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, is a progressive process. A lot of efforts has been made through the work of organizations like GFD. Successive governments have also started something. However, we can say that the pace at which implementing or drafting initiatives of issues about disability is slow. For instance, let's look at the reenactment or amendment of Act 715. As far as my memory serves me right, the process started some time back in 2013. But up to now, we have not really seen the Act fully amended to be online with the CRPD. So, efforts has been made by the various governments. However, I can say that we are not very satisfied as organizations of persons with disabilities or advocates, the way or the pace at which disability issues are responded to.
You heard Adam Abdul Wahab. He is the programs director for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations.
Salnox, a leading fuel conditioning company, has introduced its advanced fuel conditioner for vehicles and machinery in the Ghanaian markets. This innovative product, made from natural and biodegradable ingredients, aims to reduce fuel consumption, clean and lubricate engines, improve overall performance and decrease emissions. Salnox Limited CEO Ben Richardson highlighted the significant benefits of the product, particularly in addressing the challenges of rising fuel costs amid soaring fuel prices.
It really is a momentous occasion as we see the quality of fuel really hitting the headlines now with some contamination. And I'm pleased to say that Salnox has been able to help on this front. But when I drive around Ghana, I see constant black smoke coming from vehicles. That's a tremendous air pollution issue that everybody sees and impacts our health and our children. So what I'm thrilled to show you is that this product, Salnox, can reduce those emissions by more than 50%. Those cars that stop smoking, it only takes about 5 minutes sometimes for that to happen. But really, the story is also about the pocket. We know that fuel is really expensive here. We see the CD depreciating and everybody suffers. So by making your fuel burn better with Salnox, you're actually consuming 10% less fuel on average. So everybody is benefiting in their pocket as well as environmentally.
Ben Richardson is Chief Executive Officer of Salnox Limited. Meanwhile, Dr. Andrew Boy, Head of Authentication and Innovation at Nationwide Technologies Limited, praised the newly launched Salnox Fuel Conditioner, describing it as a game changer in the market.
With regards to the recent issues of fuel contamination, we've had some people reach out to us with some of those issues, and I'm glad to say that Salnox has helped most of them. I wouldn't claim that it's the panacea of all ills on contamination, but so far, anyone who's presented problems such as jacking and the car behaving erratically, it has really helped. And we believe it's a game changer, as I said. One of the key components is that it releases more oxygen into the engine for combustion to go to completion. And that's one of the big issues that impinges on the combustion problem, build-up of carbon in the engine. So, yes, we're hoping that. And we've seen vehicles, as Ben said, smoking badly, and with a dose of Salnox treatment, that seems to go away.
Dr. Andrew Boy is Head of Authentication and Innovation at Nationwide Technologies Limited, partners of Salnox Limited. Now, the Premier League returns this weekend after a fortnight of international football with some huge games scheduled for Saturday. The Citi Sports team is stepping out of the studio for the third Premier League roadshow of the season. Joining me in studio with more details is Edwin Kofi. Edwin, thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, we know the Premier League is returning tomorrow, and what are listeners expected?
Look, usually we sit in the studios to bring our listeners great analysis of the Premier League every match day. But sometimes, once in a while, we like to engage with our listeners personally on a face-to-face basis, because we know that without our listeners, the Premier League broadcast is nothing. So we like to step out into town and meet with them, dine with them, watch games with them. And this is what we call our Citi FM Premier League road shows. We've already had two so far this season. The first was at Plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill. The latest one was at Oliver Twist Shack and Latobia Okoshi. And this is what fans from the Oliver Twist Shack had to say after the last road show.
I'm one person, when it comes to the big games, I don't like to watch it all. I always want to get a place that I can sit to watch. So whenever Citi FM does a road show, I'm so happy about it, because it gets me the time for me to just move away from my house, make new friends, meet old friends, and enjoy the game. Because watching the games with other friends also lets you get to know more knowledge about the sports. Because mostly you can see a new friend that really knows a lot about the sports.
Yeah, so those were some fans from our last roadshow at Oliver Twist.
So where are we heading tomorrow, and what matches should we look forward to?
So tomorrow, it's a pretty unusual situation, as it's a Saturday. We are heading to the Blackberry Lounge at Spaintex, some might say Committee 18. And we have 3 games for our listeners. The first is a massive one between the champions, Man City, and the other team who had won it besides Man City, Liverpool. It's going to be a huge game. The second is a game between Newcastle and Chelsea. And the third, we have Brentford taking on Arsenal. So 3 massive games for our listeners.
Before we let you go, can listeners who can make it to the Blackberry launch, can they still follow the weekend's Premier League action?
Obviously, Citi FM is the home of the Premier League in Ghana, and courtesy our broadcast partners, Talk Sports in the UK, we bring you live coverage on radio, so you can sit at home and listen to Premier League commentary on radio. Follow on our socials as well, Citi Sports.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was Citi Sports Edwin Kwakofi giving us details on what to expect tomorrow for the Premier League Road Show. And that's how we end Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obubi Sakoman, and I did this with
Ajua Tenkrama Domina.
Many thanks for your time. Have a good afternoon.
Citi 97.3. More variety. Citi 97.3.
Accra. Get the details.